And remember, there's a lot of fireworks as President Ruto destroys Gachagua and Kalonzo all over the place. Of course, he's using those statements Gachagua dropped recently to attack him, and he has got a lot of convoy around him, including Wamuchomba. Guys, do you think Wamuchomba has turned from the opposition to the government? He used to attack the government and remind them that people need to develop their areas. But of late, he actually turned against a person he turned against Gachagua and indicated that he's tribal in his statements. I don't know. So remember, as currently Wamuchomba and his group attack Gachagua, they should know that very soon. Rudisha hapo haijaiva. Mbio ya nini? Nana amesema mweke huko. Nimesema mnabadilisha. So, currently, there are so many people are making a lot of noise in politics. But sijui, I think baadaye watakuwa wanakaa hivi, wanaangalia picha, wanaona maisha vile yamebadilika na wataanza kufanya critical analysis, na sisi hatutakubali kwa sababu we are watching. We are actually watching the way they are supporting what the leaders in Northeastern are doing. Na tujasema leaders wote wa Northeastern hawajafanya maendeleo. Lakini kusema ukweli, if there is a region in this country where students are still studying under the trees, the leaders there should ask themselves why. We also were shown some areas in this country. Nafikiri ilikuwa Central. Ilikuwa Central ama wapi. They showed us schools where students were studying from houses which are mud houses na in a terrible state. What is that? If CDF is actually reaching these schools and there are people who are supposed to monitor and supervise how money is being used, how comes we have schools of that nature in Kenya? And of course, if you follow closely Gachagua's list of money that has gone to counties, no county has received less than 80 billion in Kenya. No county for whatever has received that kind of money. So what is this? But anyway, we want to see what suggestion we've got from somebody like Uhuru Kenyatta. He said a statement once. This ballot papers being received by IB. So Uhuru Kenyatta alisema statement hapa. We should listen to this statement. And he said it long ago, but it's very relevant currently. I don't know what you think about. Atuambia ameibiwa. Sasa wewe hata kama umeibiwa mara 4, shida ni nani? Ni wewe au ni yule? Kama umeibiwa si uibe. Look at that. That was President Uhuru Kenyatta then. He was actually trying to pull down the aspect that Raila Odinga is claiming to have had rigging of votes na akaibiwa. Kwa hivyo akakuwa anasema kama yeye anaibiwa, yeye ndio shida, yeye pia aibe. Now, if you look at this kind of argument, is it not just proving that vices are more supported in Kenya than virtues? That is the question I would ask. And I wonder now why people are supporting corrupt individuals in Northeastern. Why people are actually making a lot of noise after Gachagua dropped a statement over the people who are bringing in rice and making the farmers in Kenya actually have a problem. Harija, hello, 80-20. The discussion here is not actually meant to bring down some leaders or make some regions look like they're bad. But if there are Kenyans, even in my region, who are doing any corrupt deals, they should actually be identified and they should be taken to court or actually be held accountable for the money that has been directed to their counties. I remember there is a time the leader of Kericho, the county governor of Kericho, was actually accused of having used a lot of money in a wrong way. Also the leader of Isiolo, and then there was the governor of Busia. And I'm surprised the governor of Busia, the governor of Kericho, and the governor of Isiolo. They were pointed out clearly as being corrupt, right? And nothing was actually done at the end of the day. After that discussion was held, it just went out null and void. Alice Auma says you, oh yo, my house, and you, my love. Tuma ikisimama. What is that? Michael Mega. Hi, how are you? Yeah, so when I look at these things, I just get mesmerized because our nation, some people don't like truth. But when truth is actually getting us to see why we are messing up here and there, then we should need to understand. Funga mlango wa jiko. Moto umekuwa mwingi. Hiyo nyama itaharibika. Nyama mjui kuchoma nyama, mnashikashika kwa nyama vibaya. Nyama huwa ichomwe hivyo. Alright guys, so I don't know whether Gachagua's expose of the leaders of Northeastern will help the Northeastern people. If I were a citizen from Northeastern, I would actually be happy that this information is being exposed, and therefore that area will now improve. Because unless somebody reveals what is happening, nobody cares. But if somebody says it and we can see pictures out of it, then there is something that can be done. You remember the time Morara Kebaso tried to expose the ghost projects? That was very important. You know? Ona, mwambie atarudisha hiyo jiko ukalafa weke maji ya ugali.
Tuweke kwa moto.
Weka hapo. Sahi siwezi kusa kwa nyama. Hata rudisha hii jiko ukalafu weke maji ya ugali. Ama hapa tu. Weke maji ya ugali. Wanaunguza nyama. Alright, this one's, the kids are making me focus on something I shouldn't. You know, when you're doing a video, you actually should focus on the video, but they are just messing up here. Anyway, Natembeya today has been actually put in a poll as the kingpin of Western. I don't know whether you think that is the case, or do you still think that Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula are the kingpins of Western? Now, in my thoughts, because I've walked around Hamisi, which is around Vihiga County. I've also walked around Bungoma County, where Wetangula comes from. And to tell you the truth, Bungoma is a sleeping town. It's a big town, yes, but sleeping town. Sometimes I pass there while going to Mumias. And if I don't go past there early, I will have a problem. At least Kakamega is an active town. But Bungoma is a sleeping town, actually. I can swear that if you look at Kakamega is better, Nakuru, Eldoret is very active. Kitale, not very much, but it's better than Bungoma. I can swear that. Then you look at Mombasa is very active. Kisumu, active. But Bungoma is a sleeping town. Vihiga also. Tell me, if you pass by those small places like Moseno and many other small towns, or rather, it's actually very inactive. And that is why I would actually say that these two leaders, Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula, even listen to what they say. Musalia Mudavadi currently is in charge of foreign aspect, and therefore he should be the one making sure that if people are going to other countries like Saudi Arabia, they are protected. He should be the one to make sure that when people are arrested out there, like our own citizens who are arrested in Tanzania or Uganda, they are safe. But does he do anything of that sort? Wetangula is the speaker. Speaker of Bunge la Kenya. Now, I want you to just look at how he oversees things in the in that parliament, and then go back to his home and listen to what people say or what happens around there. Actually, he has failed us. Now, I think so far, now Natembeya has been placed as the kingpin of Western, and I want us to look at this.
Series dictation was driving me crazy, so I switched to whisper flow. Here's why I'll never go back. First off, tutaketi chini tutoe mtu mmoja kupambana na Kasongo. Wale tumesimama na wao mimi nawajua. Ana walia mkikuwa kwa pamoja na muendelee direction ambayo tunawaambia. Uhuru atakuwa kwanza. Unaelewa hiyo? Ruto is losing. That's the political riddle shaking Western Kenya today. A new opinion poll says William Ruto is the most preferred presidential candidate nationally. But here's the twist. Lawyers don't want him in power. They want the opposition. Na sisi wakati melande Bungoma hii Bungoma ndio bedroom yetu, ndio? That contradiction is no small detail. Western is vote rich, swing territory, and now it is politically confused. Ruto tops the popularity list on this poll, yet the ground sentiment is hostile. The man, seemingly, according to the polls, is liked, but the system he represents is not trusted. The very systems that he has created himself. And sitting right in the middle of this storm is Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya. Disrupting ODM's grip, unsettling State House calculations, and redrawing the Western chessboard. This is not just a poll. It is an early warning for 2027. The latest opinion poll has landed like a political grenade in Western Kenya, and nobody is smiling. President William Ruto emerges as the single most preferred presidential candidate on paper. That looks dominant. In reality, it hides a dangerous contradiction, because when respondents are asked who they want to support politically, the majority say the opposition. That is a paradox. Ruto is popular but not trusted, liked but resisted, leading but vulnerable. Western Kenya is not just another region. It is a vote-rich, historically decisive and politically emotional. Any serious presidential candidate must either win it or neutralize it. This poll shows Ruto has done neither yet. The data reveals a region torn between admiration for Ruto's personal political hustle and deep skepticism about his administration's economic direction. Cost of living, sugar sector frustrations, fertilizer politics, broken promises. These issues are quietly shaping voter mood beneath the noise of rallies. For State House.
Yeah, so of course, Western covers a lot of places, including Trans Nzoia a little bit, Bungoma, Kakamega, we have the Lugari, we have the Vihiga, we have the other end of Busia, we have all those sides of Mumias, and then it goes up to Samia near the borders of Uganda, and it neighbors Nyanza, then it cuts across to almost near Kapsabet. And all those places, actually, when you talk to the young people who used to support Ruto a lot, currently some of them are disillusioned. And they are talking about if the opposition have to win, they have to pick a candidate carefully. A candidate that is going to protect the votes and actually ensure that they are going to offer citizens what they want. So my question is, when is opposition going to give us the demands? Okay, they are saying that if they give early, then the government will misuse it. But then I think the opposition needs to lay a strategy that will make the people to admire and want them in government, instead of keeping quiet and waiting. The waiting will not help. It is high time they actually respond to the demands of the people and do what is expected. But anyway, Babu on the other end has actually leaked some shocking information. And we need to listen to this. Sijui kwa nini mnatoa vitabu. Why are you doing that? And I think the leakage was done on 20th celebration at Mombasa. I want us to listen to this here. Nyinyi mnanidistract. Rudisha vitabu.
Siku ya leo bei za bidhaa zikienda juu, tutaenda maandamano, wapende wasipende. La mwisho, jana niliona viongozi wetu walipewa viti. Congratulations. Lakini wacha niwaulize swali. Wadozi, mliangalia huyu Babu Owino mkaona hizi tosha kiti yoyote?
Okay, now recently
Secretary General
there was a meeting that happened.
Governor James Orengo and Embakasi East MP Babu Owino are among a group of 13 ODM leaders who met in Nairobi earlier today to discuss the party's future amid mounting internal turbulence, even as preparations for next year's general election gather pace. NTV has established that the leaders agreed there is an urgent need for ODM's top leadership to convene an emergency national delegates convention to deal with the growing fault lines within the Orange Party and chart its political direction ahead of the 2027 polls. Here's NTV's David Mudhoka with the details.
As the countdown to next year's general election gathers pace, a faction within the Orange Democratic Movement linked to Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna met in Nairobi today, signaling early political maneuvering ahead of the highly anticipated polls. Those present included Sifuna himself, Siaya Governor James Orengo, and Embakasi East MP Babu Owino. Others were nominated Senators Crystal Asige and Catherine Muma, MPs Millie Odhiambo, Kisumu Woman Representative Ruth Odinga, who is also the sister of former party leader the late Raila Odinga, and John Ariko. The meeting was also attended by former Attorney General Amos Wako, Nairobi County Assembly Majority Leader Peter Imwatok, former Makadara MP Ruben Dolo, as well as politicians and business figures Edwin Ngonga and John Andiwo. NTV has established that the group is now pushing for a national convention of all ODM delegates to cool internal tensions and restore order within ODM amid simmering wrangles within the Orange Party.
What we are asking is that a national delegates conference be called with an immediate effect in ODM. There was no procedure whatsoever that was followed in getting the new leadership for ODM in place. So we want to take the top leadership as soon as possible. We want to revamp the party in all parts of this country. I have no doubt about that. She loves me as her own son.
All right, guys. So, of course, way forward, the ODM is possibly going to restructure its leadership, and maybe their goal too, because currently a lot of them are wishing to walk away and just relax and wait for 2027 elections, then have a way in government. However, things don't happen like that. Politics, you must actually fight for a position. You must defend it. You must campaign. So this puts them in a very difficult situation, what we call siege. And for them to move forward, they actually need that meeting. So we'll be waiting upon to see their direction, even though there are already rumors that finally they have agreed with Sifuna that there is need to actually have a candidate in ODM. Salmaga Kuria, welcome. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel, support my growth. It has been a long time before we got even 500 subscribers here, and we are looking forward to that. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your presence. Michael Maega, welcome. Thank you so much for your presence also. Now, I meant to actually have a presentation of 20 minutes, not long than that, and Junet is under attack, even though today we saw a meeting between Sifuna and Oburu Odinga, and we saw another meeting between Junet and Oburu Odinga. But then, what's going to happen? Yeah? You go ready? So what's going to happen in the party? Let's see. Let's wait and see. Otherwise, guys, bye-bye for now. Meet later. Watu wameanza tu kufanya